it off. I don't know if anybody else wants to talk, but it's hard. Impact, it's tough to have like one kind of thing that's a takeaway. There's so many different areas that it touches, from health and wellness to environmental stuff. And yeah, I mean, kind of some of the key things that we had kind of talked about. We had the CEO from Clean Fiber on, who kind of, was kind of giving us some background on what they're doing, which I thought was really interesting. And it was actually really helpful because somebody in the group, Abe, was kind of looking at some clean, green alternatives to some building materials. And so we were kind of talking about that. And one of the things that Jonathan was kind of highlighting was he's so excited because it's actually very competitive from a pricing standpoint, and it's a better product and cleaner. And so they should, do really well. In addition to that, we had James Jampel on from Hedge, which is a hedge fund strategy that's actually going out and shorting the dirtiest energy producers in the world. And his kind of key takeaway, and what he's most scared of, was if you own energy companies in your portfolio, sell them. That was kind of his kind of key takeaway and guidance. And then one other thing that
Miranda, you're looking at the screen.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people own this stuff in their portfolios. And then one thing I wanted to kind of kick over to MJ, he kind of talked about what he's doing in the mental health and wellness space, but they're working on a kind of, I guess you'd call it a challenge, a lucid challenge right now. I just kind of wanted him to explain what it is and kind of take a minute to just challenge anybody on the call to do the same.
Perfect. Thanks, Joe. Maybe I share my screen. This is just a very, very high level one pager. So hang on a second.
Should be able to. Yep.
You guys see a screen that says join the Get Lucid Challenge?
Yep.
So, I think as people know, I own a co-founder and CEO of Lucid App, which is an app for all those who choose or have an interest in living a sober life. And we're doing a challenge called the Get Lucid Challenge that's kicking off next week. And it's really to fight three major stigmas of addiction that prevents people from getting the help they need. The first one being that, what's the matter with me? Like, why can't, a lack of willpower, right? When in fact, addiction, is recognized as a disease, a treatable disease, by the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and, the greater medical community. Another thing is addiction is something to be ashamed of. That this is something that happens with both people who are addicted, that they're ashamed of who they've become. And then also there was a lot of studies where they would ask people, would you support giving help for people in mental health? And they all said yes. And they said, what about people in addiction? And they said, absolutely not realizing that addiction falls within mental health. So shaming creates barriers to access help and treatment. And then the third, which I was talking about on the impact panel, is sobriety. I thought sobriety would be the end of fun. And it's one of the reasons why I created Lucid, to show people all the amazing benefits that can be had when choosing to live a sober life. So if we don't show people how cool it is to be sober, nobody's going to get sober. So the challenge is very simple. You put up 3 fingers to stand in solidarity with what we think are the 3 main stigmas of addiction. And then you tag or nominate at least 3 or more of your friends. I am going to be challenging all of you. And then to give back. And the Lucid App Foundation, we are going to be working with various companies that are on the front lines of fighting addiction. So we're kicking that off next week. We very, very much hope that we'll create a viral loop, and then people will start talking about their experience with shame or guilt or willpower or whatever it may be. So that just gives you a bit of an understanding of what we're doing. And I shall stop on the screen.
I'd like to add to the impact group's summary. One thing I noticed that there is like a lot of interest areas within the group, so that was good. The first half was like people starting their different projects. I want to do a shout out to a survey Mark and I will be sending about philanthropy. So like the social cause areas you care about based on the United Nations SDG and philanthropies you either supported or created. Also tomorrow we're gonna have like a impact insight series. We're gonna share an insight on how to save costs and carbon footprint from your tech stack. And finally, I noticed in the fintech group when I attended some of that session, there was crypto currency use for tracking the authenticity of products in the supply chain. I thought that could be used also in certain impact investments or even philanthropic activities to track the money, where it goes and how it's used. So I'd love to hear from fintech on that area in future events by fintech group.
Yeah, just so you can see, this is the back end. We're putting it out, just asking for people. We want to help collaborate on the philanthropic side. So just if I'll send this link over. Just so what are you supporting? What are the ones that you established, and then which areas are of interest? So excellent. So that's impact. Then on to future of